Our society runs on many things people can't see, whether it's under your feet, above your head, or even in space. These things are an integral part to the way our society functions. I want to talk about our underground infrastructure, more specifically, our sewage system. People take this for granted because they see it as a government service that they must provide to someone that just lives on the land, just a citizen, a taxpayer, which is certainly not true, which shouldn't be true. And with this philosophy, it leads to a poor environmental policy, it leads to electing bad leaders in charge of the sewer system, and it leads to you, the citizen, getting hurt. I specifically, my hometown has a problem with this. So let's go look at my hometown, DeKalb County, and their problem.
Neighbors near several sewer spills are frustrated. They told us today that this keeps happening. This map shows the 4 areas in DeKalb County dealing with the spills. We saw crews dumping dirt along Melanie Court today, where more than 140,000 gallons spilled. Channel 2's Wendy Corona there live. And Wendy, you also checked out some other areas.
We sure did, and in every area they had these yellow signs up warning people that there had been a sewage spill there. However, this does not tell you the scope of it. For example, just looking at this house, you'd never know that 2/3 of Decatur's sewage spill happened right in that backyard.
The floods were just coming up like really high, but we're used to it because we've seen it before.
Time and again.
This news article highlights a couple key points I want to talk about. 1, lack of initiative on the government to have a sustainable solution. 2, this is a reoccurring problem that the government clearly hasn't figured out to solve. 3, this issue of sewer spills unproportionately affects poor communities, poor and minority communities. But before I talk about any of this, why are sewer spills a problem? Is spilling sewage into the environment a problem? I don't know. Let's look at some pictures. As you can see, those are pretty disturbing pictures. But let me explain what's happening in those pictures. Our sewage, well, obviously contains of household waste, household hygiene products, pharmaceuticals, household chemicals, but it also contains of runoff comprised of fertilizer, automotive chemicals, rain. Mixing that into our environment is not very good. Scientists estimate that 3.5 million people get sick every year interacting with water that they thought was safe. The CDC gave a study that shows that you don't even need to interact with this water. Some of these diseases are waterborne and can infect you. So how does something like this happen? And what can you do to fix it? Well, something like this happens when you put elected leaders in charge. When you put an elected leader that knows nothing about a sewage system going in to their candidacy. Well, something like this happens when you have a structure like DeKalb County does and many other counties and cities around the nation when they have a political leader in charge of the sewer systems. 1, the political leader has no idea how to run our sewer system. So you're putting them in charge of something that needs an expert to lead. So you have a candidate that may be there for maybe 4 to 8 years, 8 years max if you're in DeKalb. So they go in 2 years, maybe trying to figure out what's happening, and maybe the latter 2 years of a 4-year term, they're trying to get reelected. They're not really focusing on the sewer system. They're not putting that time and money in. And if you have a situation like DeKalb, which many other counties do, and which is the main point of this, is the population, the electorate, doesn't care about the issue of sewer systems. So why would an elected leader put time and money into something that it's not really a main concern of the public? While it is a big concern, it's just not in the front of their minds. The public doesn't know about this. So they have every incentive not to, and they have every incentive to not report when these things happen, to not fully fix the problem, to do it the cheapest way possible. It saves them money, as you can see in the news article I presented earlier, in the news video. And just to show you that this is not just a problem for my hometown, DeKalb County, here is a picture of just a part of the United States of places where contaminated water is a problem. So what can you, the average citizen, do to fix this? Like I said earlier, this issue mainly affects poor and minority communities that may not be able to defend themselves and spread awareness of the issue. So maybe if you're fortunate enough, spread awareness, elect good and competent leaders, and hold the government accountable. Recently in DeKalb, there have been news articles that have said there's been a decrease in sewage spills and that the problem is going away. I am a bit skeptical of that because of incompetent leaders, which leads to incompetent workers. It's up to you to spread awareness and hold the government accountable. Thank you.